It's good, for sure. Because they definitely needed a safe laner who could fight. So it was either between like this or Jug. But Jug sucks at dealing with 5-man, and Sven was banned.
Reserve time.
Yeah, it's... Okay, I mean, Vega, it feels like they're really getting every hero and everything that they need for this draft. I mean, oh boy. Brood Lycan, that's a combo.
It certainly is.
That how damage.
But
whew.
10 seconds.
Keep in mind that Brood is not like it's good in lane, don't get me wrong.
Seconds remaining.
But eventually what's gonna happen is that Brood is gonna start getting like Sleight of Fisted one time, and every single one of the Broodlings is gonna die. So there will be a stage where the Ember will be able to deal with that hero very, very easily, and probably better than most other heroes in the game. Just because he will probably have to go with you'll get like bots, for example. You'll throw a remnant out to lane while you're pushing. You'll go back to to a lane with bots, and then you can just go right back to where you were. So it's not like investing in stopping the split push. It's just something that he can do idly. He doesn't even have to commit much. It just depends on if he's going to go the Pasha build with treads so he can fight, or if he wants to go for the bots build, which is maybe a bit more stable, but he'll be squishier during the early game.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, he's got a lot of different ways to go this game, Pasha.
Reserve time.
Okay. Okay, Tide is here. I mean, is this the anti-push hero you're looking for?
Well, this is a good 1v1 hero against Brood, no question. Like, if you can get that lane matchup, you're pretty happy, I think, as Team Spirit. And the other thing about it is, if you're going in for that like 5 versus 5 and you have to deal with Tree and Tide Hunter, that's a lot of AoE stun. If the Invoker can land like a really good combo off that, there's some really good synergy in terms of damage that you can deal. And plus, when you're playing against 2 big AoE LTs, you kind of need BKB, but at the same time, it makes the BKB worse because they will want to use it just to prevent Ravage, and then they'll get overgrowthed. And overgrowth lasts for a very, very long time. So 4.5 seconds at level 3, that's a huge amount of time to be disabled. That basically means if you have a 5-second BKB and you pop it too early, then you're just disabled the entire duration of the BKB. If it's like obviously very old BKB, but I like the pick. I think it can work. It's an interesting draft. I still don't know about the tree, but we'll see how it works.
Final pick for Vega. Here we have it. What's the plan? Something big, something pushy. Let's just have it. We've already got the dirt coming out from the side. Let's have a little bit more of it.
Dragon.
And it's DK. That's
right.
the kind of dirt that you need. This is
Vega.
Vega.
This is like scum, man. This is just like literal. I'm gonna 5-man run at you so hard right now. The dream. What do you actually do? I think that
you must be so scared of Vega's lineup. It's
Team Spirit have a lot of teamfight control for sure.
I guess yeah, that's true. I mean the Tide Hunter, the Ravage, Invoker's combo, Ember once he gets his items.
They've
got the ways to do it.
Their biggest issue is the damage. Like the Invoker is gonna need to go X-Sword for sure. The Ember is gonna have to, I don't know. Like it sounds good on paper, right? Like you Ravage into like Meteor, big like remnants, all 3 go in, boom, blow people up. The damage potential is there. But dear God, can Vega push?
5 seconds.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a lineup that's got a stronger push than this. I mean, this is going to be quite something here from the side of Vega. But well, let's see if Team Spirit have it in them and have fun, boys. From now on, we're gonna have a quick minute here for the tree. Well, deciding game, of course, this one. Winner will go through to play against the winner of Liquid versus Empire, the series after this one, and they will play again today. The loser will drop down to the lower bracket final, which I believe is the one happening tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Isn't it 3 series today, 3 series tomorrow, or is it 2 series tomorrow?
2 series tomorrow. Because we have the 2 versus 2, two games today. Yeah, and then you have the winners playing each other, and then the winner goes forward to the major. And then obviously you're left with the loser of the last game today, who will then wait to play against the winner of the losers of the first 2 games today, which will be played as the first game tomorrow. And then the winner of that game goes to the major as well.
Yeah. So that's the nice thing about today is you can pretty much secure yourself a spot, you know. You win 2 series, you're through.
Yeah, absolutely. If you win 2, I mean, if you win this first series as well, you know you're going to have 2 games in which you win them, you're going through. because you win the last series today, you go through. You lose that, that's fine, you go through to tomorrow. You win that game against the winners, the losers of these 2 games, you go through. So yeah, you're in a pretty comfortable position for winning this series. So we can definitely expect to see Vega and Spirit go all out this game.
Yeah, I would hope that there's actually going to be a bit more action, because I got to say, for a CIS Dota game, there's been a lack of gaming, you know, more or less. But I don't know. I think that Team Spirit actually have the tools they need to be able to stop this push, but if Vega get even like an inch, they're going to take a mile with this kind of draft. It is unbelievable how much pushing power they actually have. And Jakiro is probably one of the best heroes at dealing with Treant in general.
Yeah, I guess you just lay down the liquid fire on the tower and it's like, oh, nice living armor.
Yeah, it's
tick,
actually
tick.
like, it's so frustrating to deal with. Not only that, but in the team fights, like you get dual breathed, your armor is just gone straight away. It's not really that helpful. The one thing that they have though that's going for them is similar to in game 1 where Pasha was playing Ember. They have very little catch, so killing the Ember is going to be kind of tough. And actually this game they have even worse catch than what they had against Pasha's Ember, because they had a Centaur on the team as well when they were playing that game. And they still, like, I think they killed them like 1 or 2 times the whole game. This game they have 1 reliable disable on Ember, and that's TK stun. So that is something that Spirit can look to and be pretty happy about.
Yeah, but I mean, we saw in the game like that, even though the Ember Spirit could escape, couldn't win them the game. And that was obviously when Vega were doing it. So even with the tables turned, even if there is a lack of control, it's... I mean, yeah, the Ember might have a nice game, but there's definitely still the potential to mess up and not get yourself the win. Yeah,
well, we'll see. We'll see who's got it in him, Owen. I'm ready. My body is ready.
I mean, after this... at the beginning, I think I would have said, of the series, I would have said Team Spirit, but the way that Vega pulled off that draft last game, and the fact that they've got a very similar draft this game, means that it's totally up in the air. I think Team Spirit is showing us that they've got some very skilled players, but Vega very much is showing us that they know exactly how to execute this lineup.
Yeah, I think relative to the last game, though, Vega's lineup is actually stronger than
oh,
what
yeah,
it was in the
that's the
previous
thing,
game.
Yeah, I'd agree. Definitely.
I think that they're just looking for the right lane matchups right now for Spirit, and they are setting the tide top, so they just want to make sure that the Brood tide happens, because it's basically impossible for a Brood to kill a Tide Hunter unless he makes like some awful mistake. Because ever since they buff Kraken Shell again, as soon as you have 2 points, you take 0 damage from the spiders. Like they don't even hurt you anymore, so it's a really, really good hero to have.
I mean, in that sense, are you fine with this as Vega? Or you're like, it's alright, I'm not going to kill the Tide, but I'm still going to be able to get something out of the lane here for Mag's Brood?
Yeah.
You don't really care that you can't kill him.
Right.
It's just
he
not...
can't really stop you. You can't stop him. It's just like a stalemate lane. It's not like Legion where you can actually like harass the Brood out and eventually go for kills. It's more just like a passive farming lane.
And this mid lane matchup, I mean, no one on his DK, one of his signature heroes, Iceberg on the Invoker, a hero that we've come to know him to be very, very proficient on. So we'll see how these two do start to match up. Bottom lane, Pasha. It's going to have a bit of a tricky lane here, it feels. And we already see just moving in. Yeah.
That's right. He might be dead.
I mean, they could dive this if they want. The Ice Path will hold them back, and okay, that's going to be enough to hold it. But yeah, I mean, as you said, I don't. This is going to be a tricky lane for Lycan.
Well, that's a salve down right there, boys. That's value.
I mean,
this is like, this is the best laning situation that the Spirit could have asked for, though. Like, this is perfect. They know that there's a Chen, so they can pressure the bottom lane. If Chen rotates over here, this is a really hard lane to kill, right? I mean, you have Jakiro Ice Path, pretty much does no damage. It's a 1-second disable. A Lycan, whose laning presence is pretty much nil in this kind of scenario. So I think that Spirit definitely have the advantage in the laning department, especially since they're also going to have an Exor Invoker against Dragon Knight, which the Invoker will eventually pull ahead and is still, like, even at the 2-minute mark, pretty decently ahead of him.
Yeah, 11 for 2, 7 for 0 here, the difference being top lane, Mag, 8 for 2 against the 9 for 1, so a bit of a wash, as you said we should come to expect. No one to die, but both heroes finding the farm. Go back. Yeah, he's going to wander away here from this bottom lane, so we'll see what he's able to find and do across the map. And Lycan 6 for 1 against 7 for 1. So still even CS down here on this bottom lane between the two cores.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we can look to as well. You kind of mentioned it already, the movement that we're seeing out of a Spirit. They have a much easier time securing kills just by moving around because they have setups in multiple lanes. So they can, even like throwing out a Leech Seed into a Cold Snap and you land a Sunstrike, then that can be a kill on somebody. A Nightmare into a Sunstrike can be a kill on somebody. Whereas Vega, the Chen rotation has to be there, and you're also ganking for like a Dragon Knight who's not level 6, which is going to be very difficult to do. And a lane with a Lycan and a freaking Jakiro. The ganking potential from Vega is not very high.
The bottom lane. They're moving. Go Black's got an Invis trying to get in position. The Sunstrike to lead off, and here we go. Jumping in onto Jakiro, looking for the first blood. The Ice Path will hold them back, but Fairy Fire is going to keep him alive, and that actually allows Vega to get the first blood, and they might actually keep him alive. The Dukes, they're not going to be enough. Go Black will find the final punch there on the tree, but thanks to that Fairy Fire, that did allow Vega to get themselves the first blood.
Yeah, I think Pasha went in there to try to break the Nightmare so he could move out of the way, because they know that setup is coming, right? So it was really good awareness from him. Unfortunately, the Sunstrike still hit. But the biggest issue they actually had was they went on the hero with the most HP. Like, Jakiro is not the guy you want to jump. He's got almost 800 health at level 3. So really good start there from Vega, managing to get something. Because normally you wouldn't expect them to find kills like that, but Spirit were playing the aggressors and they walked right into the Chen.
I mean, as you said, in terms of ganking, the strength isn't there, but when they group up and fight...
Oh yeah, if you walk into 2 Chen creeps, then you got some killing power, but... Oh, Godblack gets the rune too. But this is still a fairly even early game. The Tidehunter...
That really is.
He's going to start falling a little bit behind, because he has to deal with the Brood eating the jungle and the lane. But this is kind of what the lane devolves to no matter what, is both heroes are going to be tanking the creep wave. Tide can do it because of Kraken. Yeah, bottom, Jesus.
It was starting to kick off again, Pasha getting low, but Chen, I get his presence just with the creeps, forcing Team Spirit to think twice about committing to the fight, and does make them back off. And I mean, as you said, this looks to be a huge issue here for the Tide, the fact that Mag's going to start doing this at this point.
He's trying to chase him around, but it's really hard to kill him. Mag doesn't have to worry about killing the Tide, he can just ignore it. The Brood will eventually pull ahead, but by that point, I'm hoping that Afterlife is kind of close to his blink. Or maybe he might actually go mech this game if they want to truly 5-man. It kind of just depends on what the style is going to be. But now you can just see it's like, well, I can try to... Oh, we got the spiders there. Nice. That's like a 200 gold right there. 1 anchor smash. Value.
Well, and I guess he's one of these heroes as well that can deal with the fact that the tower's being pressured. He can tank up the creep wave, still farm it under the tower with the anchor smash.
This is why Tide is considered like one of the most stable picks against Brood, because no matter what, he'll never be low health. Like, unless you're actively trying to hit him with the Brood, which you probably wouldn't want to do because you'll just get anchor smashed. He's just always full HP. He even started with double mangoes and a crap load of regen that he hasn't even had to use.
And this is standard Mag Brood now. The fact that we're 6 minutes in, he's just picked up the Hand of Midas recipe on top of the Soaring Quelling Blade and his starting items, so it's going to be a very, very fast Midas timing here for the Spider.
Yeah. The nice thing for Spirit, though, is this is pretty much a free Blink Dagger for them. The tower hasn't really been pressured too much, because Afterlife can just tank the creep waves indefinitely. That means that if he wants to go mech or he wants to go blink, he'll have it crazy fast, because he's getting every single creep. And then they can just go try to fight. We'll see how it ends up working out for them, but I think this could be a benefit to Team Spirit, actually.
Afterlife's just coming back, seeing if we can fish for some of the spiders.
Like, doing this is actually hurting Mag a bit, because he's basically stopping him from farming the full wave and forcing him in the jungle, which is obviously less efficient. Well, I guess he does take tower damage for that, though. I don't know, actually, if it's worth it.
Mid lane, I'm seeing no one dropping the Dragon Tail here onto the Bane. The illusions as well with the right click with the Brief Fire. The Ice Path clips him, and he still gets the Brain Sap off. And that's going to be enough, or is it? The tick damage, but the living armor. Just in time. Just in time to save the man.
Was that a level 3 tree hammer? No, it's a level 2. Okay. I couldn't remember how many charges it has a level 2, because I'm not a freaking tree picker. Okay, another stun.
And with the Iceberg to follow up, the Hadouken as well from the Satire Tormentor. Bursting Iceberg low, but he's got the Ghost Wall.
Alright.
But here's the push. You know, you've got 3 heroes mid. Still a bit of time left on the Dragon form. It's actually going to expire. Actually, maybe not going to be enough here for them to go for this tower. There's TP's coming through as well. 3 heroes on Team Spirit ready to defend. With the Liquid Fire spam and the right click. Looks like Vega nonetheless. They'll get themselves the tower. There'll be a fortification. Okay, TP's coming through. They want to fight here. Team Spirit want to go. They do have a Ravage, but the Stomp indeed holding back the Ravage. They'll still get the kill on the Jakiro, but he gets off one more Liquid Fire. It will eat through the living armor. Is it going to kill it? 8 HP. It goes down. They do deny it. Iceberg will get the deny on the tower there.
Getting the tower down is more important, though. In this type of strategy, at least. I mean, yeah, getting denied, that kind of sucks, but in the meantime, they're also pressuring the safe lane pretty hard. Mags is up here, hitting away at the tower. Forces Afterlife to walk all the way back up, who I can only assume is going blank because he's holding on to a lot of money.
He's got to be, hasn't he? Yeah, first
Yeah,
time.
if you're buying mech, you already have your buckler and whatnot. And in that time, Mag has pulled ahead in terms of the overall CS.
Yeah, and he's going to start. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Mag pretty much stay at the top of the board now with that Midas. Unless something drastic happens in terms of fights. But if the last 2 games are anything to go by, I think this could be one very fat brood mother sitting at the top of the board for a while.
I don't think he'll ever be off top net worth unless they start like heavily pressuring him. Like a brood who has a jungle to himself in a lane, you can't really outfarm that unless you have some like crazy mobile Battle Fury buying hero like AM or an Alchemist. So it just depends. Do Team Spirit want to just leave him be and just go try to fight somewhere else, or do they start like coming up here and being like, you can't stay here, and just really pressure the lane? Because it doesn't seem like a great spot for them right now, like having to address this so early. I mean, I guess the other answer is they could just keep tied here and then just never have him come to a team fight.
I don't know. It seems that this spider, it's... I mean, what's the build that Mag normally goes for? What will he get his first time? Isn't he one of the guys who likes to pick up the Orchid normally on the spider?
It's not really good against Tide, but it's good against the rest of their heroes.
Yeah.
It also depends on if he wants to actually come to fights. If I see a tree and a Tide Hunter, an Ember, I'm like, I don't want to go to fights. Like, as Brood, I'm kind of like, I'll just do my own thing, sit top. If the Tide is the only one... Oh, bottom.
No, I'm onto Passion, but he gets the ult off. Tide Hunter coming in again, but he's too late really to be able to do anything with a Ravage, and they're already out there. They might finally come to solo with the Cold Snap, the Force Spirits out as well. Ramses moving forward. Chet will go down. He's got a Hand of God, but still pays with his life. But they forced the tower down to half health. They did lose the top tower out of the side of Team Spirit. Nicely done in the sense that they called no one to come in, so no one was able to get the last touch on it. And they're actually going to make most of this by pushing. Team Spirit, though, they're going to look for the trade in the sense that they'll go for Roshan here instead.
They're losing 2 towers for this. He did go mech. Okay. He just had like 2,600 gold and then bought a mech. Very confusing. Alright. But I like the mech choice. I think it's one of those things where you look at the lineup of Vega and you know what they're trying to do, and having the mech up early can just stop any like 5-man because you have very good frontline. Like Tidehunter Tree is some of the tankier heroes that you're going to be able to get, even against like a Lycan or a Brood or whatever. And even the Chen creeps, like the more I think about it, Tidehunter is super good against this team because Chen creeps can't even really bother you that much. None of them like hit that hard in general, so Kraken is going to negate like 90% of the damage that you're taking, and Anchor Smash slows down the push. So the more I see it, the more I actually like this for this game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point of the game, do you think the Vega are quite happy with what they've done in terms of, we knew that they were going to go for the push? They're taking down the full top lane, they're taking down the tier 1 mid. Is this enough for them in terms of getting the momentum going with their heroes? Or?
I don't think they're feeling super comfortable, actually.
Okay.
Because of the fact that the Roshan just got killed, like sure, the Brood's lane is dead at 11 minutes pretty much, which is good. Like that part of it they're probably okay with. But the rest of it is like their team fight is kind of inferior against a Treant and a Tidehunter, especially when a Tide has mech. And their late game is alright. Like it's not bad, but I think Ember and Invoker are also pretty solid late game. So I think they do need to deal more damage. There's no way they can be content with just getting those 3 towers.
Oh, easy spider farm here. Drops a Chaos Meteor, picks himself off a few Broodlings.
Speaking of Brood, he went for Book, not going for the Orchid this game. But I think Orchid was kind of mediocre anyway. This is the all-in rep build.
I was going to say, this
pretty
is the sit in the lane and stay there build rather than the turn-ups of fights, which I think could work, because as you said, it's going to force at least one member of Team Spirit to not be in the fights themselves. And when they've got heroes like a Tidehunter, you know, they need to have everyone there to go for these 5-mans. And having to kind of sack someone in a lane because of the Broodmother, maybe even more once Mag gets a bit more fat.
I think it's going to be hard for anyone to come up here soon. You just don't want to deal with that. Now, Ramses is hater, but I think Mag can actually force him away.
And this looks like Ramses, he's saving up for the bots here this game, isn't he? He's going to go for the bots first.
I think that they're feeling confident enough in their early game that going for the greedier choice is always going to be better. And we said it during the draft too, right? Like, if you have bots on Ember, you can just idly counter-push the Brood. You don't have to commit a lot. And since he isn't going Orchid, that means that you're feeling super safe. Eventually, you could go for Manta or something like that if you wanted to just be invulnerable to that kind of build, but he doesn't even have to make that choice here because Mag is going for the book instead. But still, like, again, a pretty slow-paced game. Like, not in the way that the towers are being pushed, but just in the way of kills. Both teams just not wanting to commit too much either way.
I mean, it really is. 13 minutes in, 1 for 3.
Yep.
I think must have kind of jinxed it. We're coming into this series like, right, Team Spirit, Vega Squadron is going to be action, kills, kills, kills. And really, we're getting kind of a more kind of careful, calculated games where both teams just making sure that they make the least mistakes, really.
It's just a game of efficiency between the two teams right now. Just seeing who can get more out of the map. I mean, outside of Mag, everyone is getting out-farmed on Vega. Like, Afterlife has a good amount of CS. Iceberg's Invoker has good CS. Ramses has good CS. And then the next highest on Vega is their Chen. Like, that's... it's not necessarily a great sign. And they're going to be losing their safe lane tier 1, whereas Vega, they have no counterplay to this. They have nowhere to push.
I mean, they've got a few on the mid lane, but they might need to think about backing up and holding on to the tier 2, because that's going to be exactly what Team Spirit have set in their sights. They've got the Forge Bits, and TPs will start to come back, and in fact, Team Spirit themselves TPing back, but to react to this mid lane push that they've got going on.
Yeah. Just another good old farm game. Hit some creeps. Okay, nice blink.
Have they got the damage here before it can go? Nope. Oh.
Flame Guard is really hard to get through. And even if they could, there was still Treant armor that wasn't even popped. Afterlife, he's got an invis. Oh god, he has invis. Can actually do something with this though. I guess no one else is in the area.
The bots are on cooldown for 30 seconds.
Okay.
Oh no, he's still there. Sorry, he was still there, yeah.
Oh, he missed the chains. Jesus.
Oh.
Okay, he's not gonna die.
Yeah,
that was...
It was... I mean, they didn't have the damage.
Well, if the chains hit him, they would have killed him, for sure. But, he missed his chains because he... I don't think he dusted the broodlings or something, or maybe he didn't see them. And then he just went for a chains and it didn't hit, so... Unfortunate. And that's book 3 Midas at 15 minutes.
That's disgusting.
I mean, everything about this hero is disgusting. Even his cosmetics are. Look at him. Jesus Christ, I hope nobody in the chat's arachnophobic.
Oh dear. Guiding Greaves on the Tidehunter as well, rather than going for the blink at all.
Yeah.
Finishes that off. Yeah.
I like it. It's very hard to kill a Tidehunter with Guardian Greaves this early. Because you get that 15 armor bonus when you're low, you get that extra regen going. You're just like a god.
Ooh, Ramses might have caught the spider.
Oh,
and he has. That is a nice kill for the Ember Spirit.
Give me those babies. Alright, you actually can't kill them very well because he doesn't have Battle Fury. But he's stopping Mag from cutting the creep wave.
Bottom lane, they're jumping in onto this Tidehunter. He's got living armor, he's got Greaves as well in 8 seconds. I mean, you said it was hard to kill the Tide, and I think you might be right, Andy.
Literally invincible.
They're doing their best. He's going to just walk it off and turn around. They use the ult from Gold Black. Sunstrike coming down onto no one. But Gold Black, he's sending in the Jakiro's ultimate at him now. They've got to be careful. Chaos Meteor should do enough to bring him down, and they do get the kill on the DK. Remnanting forward, trying to look for more. Ramses, he'll duke out the Ice Puff. He's got Slight, he's got the chains. He'll use the combo to close the gap, looking for a TP out, but the damage is going to be too much. They'll get the kill on the Jakiro. At the same time here in the tree line, Solo being left alone. It's a double kill so far for Iceberg. He blinks in, he's looking for the glory, looking for the action, and he'll get it. Triple kill for the Invoker. And Vega getting ripped to pieces, and just a little bit one-track minded on that Tide kill, and it just wasn't gonna happen.
Did they not know what hero they were trying to kill? I mean, I see a Tide with Guardian Greaves as a melee hero, and I'm just like, that hero is not dying. There's just no way. But the thing that made that even worse was before that fight even happened, Mag was already dead, which means instead of that lane being pushed in and them having to react to it, Mag is just sitting in the woods right now, like barely back into lane at all, and Team Spirit is coming down here in force. I mean, hell, Afterlife didn't even have Ravage that fight. He was just walking away casually as like a double damage Dragon Knight and a Lycan were just beating on him. He's like, yeah, whatever, doesn't matter. Dear God.
My goodness.
And before Tidehunter spam in all my pub games now.
I mean, it's not a bad hero.
No, he's definitely good. And to be honest, Tidehunter is one of those heroes that's really hard to mess up, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very straightforward style of play, so. I wonder if he'll go Aghanims.
Oh, I hope so. I do hope so.
That would be fun, but I think he'll probably just go Blink.
I was going to say, he goes back for the Blink now, surely. Yeah. I mean, there's no reason not to, really. In terms of cancelling the Blink Dagger, I guess there's the spiders that might be microed around to be chipping on you on the side of the fight, but I don't know. There's always going to be an opening for a big jump, surely. Most of the time.
Yeah, and I think when you have the advantage, the Blink becomes a better choice too, because you can take the fights on your own terms. You don't have to hope that Vega run into you. You can just decide, we'll smoke, we'll go for a Blink initiation, and we should be able to kill quite easily. I mean, no one on the side of Vega even is close to BKB right now, and Pasha's not even building one in general. He's just going straight for the book. The only one who's going to have Magic Immunity is no one, or DK, I guess in this case, if you want to call it that. But yeah, I gotta say, like this Team Spirit lineup, this Tidehunter especially, doing big work.
Mag in terms of his build, he's going back for the BKB now, on the looks of it. He's got the Ogre Club. Battle Fury nearly done here for the Ember Spirit. Sending no one up here again, but Ember's playing a lot safer now, boxing down to the bottom, moving around the map, and indeed there we have it. So Tide now with the Blink, and I mean 19 minutes in, you know, we saw him have a good lane, and the fact that he's got the Blink Greaves, this is a pretty terrifying Tidehunter. Not in the sense that he's necessarily going to kill you, but you're never going to kill him. And if anything, he's going to set up the potential for his team to kill you with the big ults. And Goblack's making good progression on his Aghanims.
Yeah, this is actually getting a little bit out of hand for Vega. This is why I was saying earlier, they can't really be content with just a little bit of damage that they dealt. It really felt like they were always going to be on the clock with this kind of lineup. Even though Lycan and DK are fairly good in terms of like late game potential, the Tidehunter just makes it so hard for them to do anything. Like 60% damage reduction whenever you get hit by an anchor, and you're pretty much okay. Alright, they're going on him again.
So if they can do it, he's still got the Greaves, just holding on to it casually. Goblack's turn up as well. Are they going to look for some kind of turnaround here with the Blink Ravage? That's the question. They have got backup. They'll find the Gush onto Shoma. Looks like Jakiro will be the one to die. The Fiend's Grip just casually done there as he sits next to the Ice Path. He knows his positioning well, always want to fly, and they'll get themselves the kill. 8-1 now, another one for the side of Spirit. And meanwhile, Pasha, he's looking for that solo Roche attempt. Now the question is, do Team Spirit realise, because he's going to give up. Before Spirits come in as well. He just hasn't got the power to do it at any kind of significant speed. And I mean, as you said, this is definitely looking like Team Spirit's game at the moment. Even though the difference might not be shown in terms of gold and XP really drastically, just their lineup looks a bit more solid. And the fact that we're 21 minutes in and this push lineup, in all honesty, hasn't done the amount of pushing that they would have hoped to.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. And the other thing too is, I don't know what other games Vega has run Chen in, but this is the first series that I've seen them play it, and it hasn't really been super effective, at least as far as I know. And I don't know if that's because Team Spirit are just drafting good heroes against it and they understand how it works, or if they're just not as familiar with it anymore. Because I know that Vega used to run Chen a lot more often, and Solo back then was like a really great Chen player, and I'm sure he still is, but I mean, right now he's 1-2-0. They have one kill. I guess he has it. So there you go. Solo Chen confirmed MVP. Only team's kill.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Vega, what do you do now? Because late game potential you don't really have it surely against an Ember Spirit. Unless your Lycan gets super farmed, but Pasha going for the Vlad's Necro build, he's going to be a long way off the point where he can just waltz in and slash down an Ember on his own.
I mean, no one's going to do anything on Vega. I really don't know what they're supposed to do right now. I thought that they would have dealt like a pretty good chunk of damage, at least in terms of map control, you know? Just like farm it up, get the Lycan what you need, and then just push in. But maybe they were too greedy. Like too greedy on the push and not enough control of the heroes. Because the bottom lane was super hard for Pasha. He almost dies in like the first creep wave, then he's playing passive the whole time. Even getting the first bullet, it just didn't really seem to be enough. And look at this Tidehunter. He's like, yeah, whatever, dude. Fine.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Just forcing them back, creating the space the Team Spirit needs to be able to pound down onto this tier 2. There is a bit of routing going on from Mag, or at least trying. But it's now at a point where there's a Battle Fury on Ramses, and he just cleaved through the spiders there. 3 gold here for the boy, and the push will continue by the looks of it, Team Spirit. If they want to try and break the high ground, they've got the Aegis on the Invoker. I mean, it certainly feels like they're in a position to do so. You know,
By the way, apparently your mic is muted in-game. I don't know. Mine's not, but yours is.
Probably because I had to reconnect, so
yeah.
Tell people in-game to reconnect.
Oh, we didn't tell people what happened. That
What?
poor observer who got kicked because of you. Okay, so Owen crashes out of the
that's
game,
great.
prevents the load, and then we go back to the lobby screen, right? And Owen's
I
still
get
in
there
the
in
game.
time, yeah.
Yeah, he like reloads in the game. So they kick some poor random guy who was just trying to cast some Dota 2 because of Owen. And then they just immediately start the game.
RIP the Slovenian cast 2016.
God damn it, Owen. we had like Janice and Steve yesterday. I mean, I don't know what good name
We're
for
ending
that
careers
guy,
left, right, and centre here.
we really are.
You know, we're just slowly eliminating the competition. You know, BTS are out of the lobby. You know, got to get
They're
everyone
kind
out
of
of the lobby.
eliminating themselves, though, to be honest.
They did a little bit. Bless them.
Oh God. Worth.
I mean, what are the odds of Vega winning this one then? It's-
Okay, so in terms of farm, they're not doing so hot. The advantage isn't necessarily massive for Spirit. It's more like the team composition that's the biggest problem. Because like Jakiro late game and like Chen late game it's okay, but it's not really going to compare to the team fight utility that Spirit have. And it's not like they have that gyro to fall back on in the late game that we saw Ramses play earlier, where you can just rely on flat cannon and your insane AoE to be able to carry the fights. Lycan is not that hero. He's the guy who wants to focus on one person or push. So the way these heroes scale is not really as good, I think, as Spirit's.
And you've now got Golak here with the completed axe. Lincoln Sphere done on Ember. I mean, already you talked about the lack of catch potential. It's literally not going to be there now, really.
Yeah, it's non-existent. I don't even think he needs Blink this game. I think he can just stay with the Lincoln's BF and just go for damage items, and then he'll be A-okay. Oh man, this is actually such a hard position for Vega. A Tidehunter is going Shivas, right? Or I guess he could go AC. AC would be nice for breaking high ground, but I think Shivas is a more logical choice. If he wants to go Refresher, he goes Shivas.
Well, another action-packed game here.
Yeah. one kill to
Oh.
8 kills, 26 minutes in. A riveting game of Dota 2, one might say.
Now, I'll tell you what, we're going to see the opposite of this in the next series. Liquid versus Empire.
God, I hope
Going to be
so, man.
insane. Absolutely insane.
I really hope this doesn't become the meta.
Rest in peace, Mag. Rest in peace. The Fiend script's out,
Yeah.
the sentries are down, and the spider's caught.
I mean, you can say that the game's not action-packed, but we also have to respect the team's position. Like, qualifying for the major, pretty serious business. I can't blame them, but at the same time, I kind of want Afterlife to just tank the well and see how long he can live, you know?
It's going to be a long time.
Probably.
It'll probably kill
Kraken
it.
works against the well, I think. At least it should.
Yeah, well, it's against everything, doesn't it?
And then you have like 24
Well,
armor on top of
physical
that.
things, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I do whenever I play. Like, if I know I'm winning, I just make like the tankiest possible build and just tank the well for as long as I can. But I'm also BM
dirty
as shit.
fountain farmer.
Yeah, I'm super
Dirty,
BM, so
dirty.
he probably won't do that. Alright, so the push continues.
Radiant's top tower.
Spirit just getting some free tower gold here. It seems like we spent a lot of time talking about the Tidehunter this game, but I think we spoke a little bit about Goblak's
Whoa.
Aghanims. He's got it done now.
Invoker with the casual BKB. The BM
Yeah, that's
BKB.
just the dominance BKB.
Oh, he needed it for that ice path as well.
Hey, would have got hit. It's true.
Yeah.
Radiant's structures
Oh, even Alacrity's with the glyph up. Alright, that's a report, honestly. Get that guy out of here.
Even Ember sacrificing his Lincolns for Invoker.
What is their way to initiate as Vega? Like, how do they actually start a team fight? Oh, they're actually gonna TP away. Interesting. Not gonna go for it? I guess they want to wait for Roshan again? There's no real risk in
I mean,
waiting
yeah,
for
just
Rosh.
play it safe if you die. There's no, yeah. You don't want to risk losing a fight on the high ground because you, as you've said, as we've said, you don't need to with their lineup.
Yeah.
Just keep the Ember farming and you're pretty good to go for the next however long you want to drag this game out for. There's not going to be a time, unless you lose a lot of bad fights, the Vega are going to suddenly be ahead. And you've got an Axe now, an Invoker. Maybe that was the pickup they were waiting for.
It's definitely a big item. No question about that. But I don't think it's necessarily like the game breaker that just lets them take team fights. I honestly feel like they could have fought at any point in the last 10 minutes and it would have been really hard for Vega to win. But again, high stakes. You play the safe game. You know you're farming more.
Oh, Chen.
Oh, solo. Oh my. Sometimes you
This
just gotta
is-
eat a
yeah.
meatball to the face.
Team Spirit are pretty good. I'll give you that. These guys have impressed me over the qualifiers so far. I think they've impressed a lot of people as well. Because especially in these EU groups that people see stacked, not a lot of people always expect it from some of the newer formed teams. And Team Spirit, they've got a very good lineup. You know, they've got a few stars in there. You always want to fly, the man from Empire. And then they've got some newcomers as well that haven't really ever hit it off in a top tier team. But yeah, having the kind of foundations of Go Black and Always Want to Fly, and then these kind of new flashy players like Iceberg, and of course Ramses, and where is he? The final man himself, the man himself on the Tidehunter, Mr. Afterlife. It's good stuff here from Team Spirit, and it's destroying Vega at this point.
Yeah, it's nice to see teams where they have a couple of new players and then a lot of established players kind of just like helping lead and whatnot and showing that people can make it into the competitive scene, you know? Because Vega is one of those teams that you would consider like at one point maybe even top 2 or top 3 in the CIS region at least. And they're struggling right now, for sure. So it gives like kind of that hope for people who are like up and coming Dota players who want to be on a team that you can actually make it, you know? Because Iceberg is relatively new to the scene. Ramses is definitely new to the scene, and maybe not like in terms of playing on teams, but in like this high of a stake game, I would say.
And it was, as you said, Shivas for Tidehunter rather than the AC. So going for the standard stuff here.
Yep. Just waiting for the Roshman that actually is up right now. I imagine that this with the cheese is going to be the time that Spirit want to push. Because again, how did Vega initiate a team fight? Honestly. Like, what is their plan? We casually walk into a Tidehunter and an Overgrowth? I feel like that can't be a play. I mean, Owen, I know that you and I play in different levels, but I need to know what you would do in this situation. Like,
What if you're?
I need to know the YOLO play that brings Vega back in.
Oh, I don't know. I think you just come back next tournament.
Just pack it in.
Pack
Owen,
it.
there's a lower bracket, for God's
Yeah,
sake.
don't bother with that. Waste of time. Nah, I mean,
My
what do you
God.
imagine the lower bracket matchup's going to be? Who do you think will win Liquid versus Empire?
Probably Liquid, I would guess. Although the new
You
Empire
reckon?
seems...
I don't know.
The new
yeah,
Empire seems to be
Empire's
doing
good.
pretty well, right?
I think I'm inclined to agree with it. I think Liquid would do it, and then you could have Empire versus Vega, and I don't know. Vega just have been really hit and miss recently.
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell with Vega.
I think they're just
probably
struggling to
Yeah.
adapt to the patch a bit.
I'd say they're one of the most unpredictable teams at the moment in the scene, in terms of kind of consistent performance.
Yeah.
As a diving dragon.
Alright, well... The push continues, I guess. They're grouping up top, and they're gonna try to maybe go base. Maybe.
And they can certainly go for it.
I mean, this is like one of those losses where you know that you're losing the whole game, but there's actually nothing you can do about it. You're just like, all right, we got tree agonyms all over the place. We're losing out in the farm game. We can't team fight. We can't rat.
I mean, I guess it is one of the things that when you do a draft like this, you know that you always know there's the potential for it to go absolute tits up, and then it doesn't work. The other team plays the early game smarter. The mid game, you know, they farm, they out farm you, and then it just gets to a point where you just don't do anything against what they've managed to achieve.
I mean, Iceberg just casually sitting here punching the barracks. I don't know, dude. I really think that Vega have, like... They gotta hope Team Spirit mess up real bad here.
It feels like as well, with 34 minutes in, I think we've only seen the one Ravage, haven't we, at the top lane when he missed on the Brood kill.
Yeah. Yeah, I
He's
think
not
so.
even needed the spell.
Honestly, feels like you could have just had any hero in this game with Vanguard and it pretty much would have done the same thing. Nah, it's not true. Anchor Smash is actually like super OP against this
Yeah,
lineup.
his lane, the fact that he got the farm at the rate that he did with the Greaves and then into the Blink, it was, yeah, it worked out very nicely.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, can Vega get more than one kill in this third game? That is the real question. Like, if I'm going to a betting site right now, it's how many kills are Vega going to have at the end of this game? I'm saying one. I don't think they'll get another kill. Okay, here we go.
Try. They're going to jump in full on. BKB's being popped. He's waiting here for the BKBs to run out so he can get the Ravage off. They're going to have a good duration here as they reveal them. They're moving in. They're going to get a second. They take down Bane here. Vega trying to do it, going fully ham here. But there's your Ravage after the BKBs wore out. And with the Slider Fist, the Meteor flying down. Lycan to 4. No one's going to drop as well. Double kill for Iceberg. They will manage to get back to the high ground, but Vega just call it GG, well played. The plan didn't work out. The push, as dirty as it looked in the draft, was unsuccessful. And Team Spirit just played the better game at Dota and an impressive one as well. And Team Spirit continue to be that team that, I've got to be honest, people should keep their eyes out on them. Because they're going to be going to the major. Well, I say that. They're going to have to play against the winner versus Liquid and Empire. But if they keep up performances like this, I think they're kind of top seed at the moment in this group.